All right, welcome to the first video in a series of video game collection videos that I'm going to be making. I am currently in the process of going through my entire collection and making a digital record of all the stuff that I own. I've been collecting video games for around 20 years, maybe a bit longer, and I'm currently sitting at around 1,500 titles. I'll start with the PS5 and go backwards from there through the PS4, PS3, Xbox 360, PS2, and so on, all the way back to, I think the NES is the oldest console that I have games for. I've categorized all the stuff here by separating them into piles of games that I have played and games that I haven't played. So I'll start with games that I have played, and I'll finish with games that I haven't played yet. I'm buying games to play, so I'm not really interested in keeping them sealed or anything like that. But there's so much to do and so little time. So I've played around 50% of all the games that I own. So there's like 700 or 800 games that I have in my backlog. There's got quite a lot of things to go through, but yeah, I have here first a couple of games that I have begun playing but have for some reason stopped, and also games that I'm currently playing. So let's start with Devil Engine Complete Edition. This is one of the games that I'm currently playing. It's an insanely difficult shoot 'em up game. Like really, really tough. I've beaten some quite difficult shoot 'em up games before, like the original Raiden and Ketsui and whatever, all those kinds of games. But this one is by far the toughest one that I've played so far. It's widely known as one of the most difficult shoot 'em up games of at least the last couple of years that have been released. So I've got pretty close to finishing it, but not to the end. I always fail around like level 6 or 5. I can't remember. Yeah, it's a really good game, great soundtrack and whatever, but it's really difficult. Another game that I'm currently playing is Ghost of Tsushima. It's an alright open world game. I like it. It has some great moments in it, but also a lot of filler. But yeah, I'm close to finishing it. I'm around like 46 hours. I'm near the end of it, so been enjoying that one quite a bit. Then there's like Madden 22. Not much to say about it. It's not a very good game, but it gets a job done when you're listening to a podcast and just need something in the background. So Madden 22. Moving out to a fantastic co-op game. I really like the first one. Second game is quite a bit easier, but has more variety to it. So it's a bit different, but it's also a really fun game. Then there is the European limited edition for Sifu, the Vengeance edition. I started playing this like a year ago, I think. I got pretty far in it. I think around halfway through the game. I got to the third boss and couldn't beat it. And then I had some work-related stuff that I had to take care of. And I just stopped playing Sifu. Tried to get back into it at a later point, but I had completely forgotten how to play it. So I have to pick it up again at some point. And this is a really fun fighting game, like a 3D single-player fighting game. Really challenging. Also, almost like it's not like a puzzle game, but a strategy game. Almost like a real-time fighting strategy game. Great controls, great music, great aesthetic. It has this Hong Kong action movie feel to it. Really like Sifu, but I just had other stuff to come up and couldn't finish it. I'll get back to it at one point or another. Another game that I stopped playing halfway through is Tactics Ogre Reborn, also because I had some work related things that had to be taken care of, and I just didn't have the time. I think I played like 10 hours of Tactics Ogre. Really liked what I saw. It's a classic tactics RPG game. I'll get back to it at some point, but just don't have the time for it currently. The Turtles Cowabunga collection is a fantastic release. It has a ton of content, like 13 games, that's why it's in this pile. I haven't finished all of them. I'll go through all the games before I put it in my finished pile, so it's going to take a while. This has a bunch of the old Game Boy games and the NES and Super Nintendo games. Like really fun games, arcade games. The last games that I've played through are, I think, the Game Boy games, Fall of the Foot Clan and the other ones. They were fine. I kind of liked them, but the NES and the Super Nintendo games are obviously the main events there, like Turtles in Time, which is a fantastic game. And then lastly, in this pile, I have the Callisto Protocol, which I played a couple of hours at one point and I just didn't like it at all. Bounced off it really hard, and I just stopped playing it, but I'll go through it at some point. It's nowhere near the quality of the Dead Space remake that was released, unfortunately. It's the same guy who created Dead Space made that one, or directed that one. Okay, so then I have a rather sizable pile of games that I have played and I have completed and finished. First of all, there is Absolov, End of Gods, which is a pretty interesting like survival horror sci-fi game. It's not the most unique game out there. It's a Unity horror game, like first person Unity horror game. It's nothing special, but it's quite interesting. I kind of liked it. It has some good music and some interesting visuals to it. The gameplay is your typical first-person horror game. It's nothing special. You walk around and you run away from enemies and whatever. But pick that one up if you like horror games. It's not the worst one out there. Blasphemous 2, the sequel. I like the original game a lot more than the second one, simply because the first one is more like a Metroidvania. This is less so. This is a bit more linear. It's also a bit more easy, which is unfortunate. I really like the difficulty of the first game. But great pixel graphics, great soundtrack. The Spanish folk horror aesthetic is very unique, and it's definitely a game worth checking out. One of my favorite PS5 games is Bugsnax. It's a really strange combination of like Pokemon Snap and like almost Cronenbergian body horror stuff. It's a really strange combination. It looks like a funny children's game, but it's more like a horror game when you get further into it. Also appreciate this physical release by Fangamer. This is the European retail version that has all this extra stuff in it, like the manual and these. It's like a children's task sheet, some stickers. Always appreciate it when releases have all the things in them that we used to get back in the day, like the manuals. So Fangamer, great company. Absolutely support them if you can. Next we have Bunny Park, which is an awful like a mobile game released on a PS5. The controls are terrible and the game barely works. I thought I got it for cheap. I thought it would be like funny, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't. Can't recommend this. But yeah, it has some cute bunnies in it if you're into that sort of thing. So the Dead Space remake is absolutely fantastic, and the fact that a remake for the second game is not going to be released because EA is garbage is very sad. This is one of the top games that I've played recently. It's a really good remake of the original game. I would probably even say that it's better than the original, just because of all the quality to life improvements and whatnot. It's an essential horror game if you're into horror games. Deathloop, unfortunately not the greatest game. It's by Arcane. I really like some of their other stuff that I'm going to be showing in the PS4 video and the PS3 videos. But Deathloop was a bit of a disappointment. It's a fun game. I played through it again and again. Like the name suggests, it's loops. Got the platinum trophy for it, but it's an alright. It's like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 shooter. It's fine, but not great. Death Stranding is a game that I put like 100 hours into, far more than I thought I would. I really enjoyed the game at times, but then it started dragging quite bad near the end. It has the same problems as the Metal Gear Solid 5 endgame, where there's just too much filler side content and all the other stuff that you also have to do if you want to get to the main games, like the some of the final missions to do. You have to do a bunch of the side missions, which are mostly just filler. So that's unfortunate. But I really like Death Stranding. I like Kojima's influences. I like all the movie influences and the music that he uses and so on. It's an interesting game. It's a very unique game in many ways. All the walking. Demon Souls remake is probably, if not my top PS5 game, it's at least in the top 3 PS5 games. This is an absolutely fantastic remake of the PS3 game, which I have also played multiple times. I don't even know what to say about this. This game was released near the launch of the PS5. I'm not sure if it was a launch game, but it was close to launch. And it's still one of the best looking PS5 games out there. Bluepoint Studios absolutely support everything that they put out. It's always fantastic. Dredge, again, a physical release that has an art book in it and all sorts of extra goodies. Absolutely appreciate this. The game itself is pretty fun. I don't really understand all the hype around it. It is quite a simple little indie game. The side missions are just not really anything special, but it has a cool like Lovecraftian aesthetic, and the combination of like fishing and horror is very interesting. I really like that game in many ways. Ever Forward is a puzzle game that's not very strong in my opinion. It's very buggy, very low budget game. It looks gorgeous. The art design is fantastic. The art design is absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately, the gameplay doesn't live up to it. But if you can get this for cheap, it's worth checking out if you're into puzzle games. Next, we have Ghost Runner, which is a fantastic first-person. It's like Mirror's Edge with a samurai sword. It's a first-person parkour like platforming game with some combat in it. Really cool cyberpunk aesthetic. It's fantastic. Yesterday I finished Ghost Song. released by Humble Games. Another marker of a good physical release. If you see Humble Games in a spine, it's below in the bottom here. If you see Humble Games logo on a game, I would suggest buying it because it's probably going to be pretty enjoyable. This release comes with a poster and a digital soundtrack. And this artwork is just absolutely fantastic. There's also, I'm not going to spoil it, the other side of the poster is a map. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's a pretty fun Metroidvania game. It's very, very simple, quite easy. It's a very, if you are looking into Metroidvania games but don't know where to begin, this may be a good starting point. Like, this is very, very heavily inspired by Super Metroid and the other older Metroid games, but it is much simpler and a much easier experience to get through these days. It's an okay game. The soundtrack is fantastic. If you know the band Grouper, the American band, the soundtrack sounds a lot like Grouper. It's pretty cool. I like it. The aesthetic of the game is also very, very different from most Metroidvania games. It's like a lots of purples and blues and light colors, and then there's also some really horrific horror stuff in it. It's an interesting combination of elements. Next, we have Ghostwire Tokyo. This is an open world exploration game by the people who made Evil Within, a series that has unfortunately been abandoned. I really like the aesthetic of this game. The first 10 or so hours are fantastic, but then it starts dragging a bit. So it doesn't really justify the length of it. But if you're wondering what it's like being in Japan, what Japanese streets look like, this is one of the main games to look for that aesthetic, because the level of detail in the environmental design is just insane. It's insane. All the food items in the markets and whatnot are just, there's so much to look at in a game. I think it's a much more interesting game to look at than to actually play. The gameplay is fine also, but yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo, definitely worth checking out. Gran Turismo 7, I got this bundled with the console back when I bought the PS5, a year and a half ago at this point. I'm not into simulation racing games at all. I like arcade racing games, not really simulation games. I put 50 hours into this game just because I used it as a podcast game back in the day. I've played quite a bit of it. Not my thing, but it's fine, I guess. Ikai is a first-person horror game that is unfortunately not very strong of a game. It's very short, and it has some cool ideas to it. It has some atmosphere building in it. That's pretty interesting, but it's heavily inspired by Japanese folk horror. I wish it was better, but it just kind of falls flat, unfortunately. One of the top PS5 releases of the last couple of years, I think, is Klonoa. Absolutely fantasy reverses. Why did I say years? The last couple of months. I think this came like 6 months ago, I think. Or maybe even longer ago. I can't remember. Whatever. Two great games in here. Klonoa, Door to Phantomile. The PS1 game. Very expensive game, which I don't own. And the second game, Lunatia's Veil, from the PS2. The second game is one of my childhood favorites. It's a great series that hopefully will get a new game in it at some point. But it's an underrated underrated series for sure. Really fun 2D platforming games, some great music and good vibes. Speaking of a game with good vibes, Lake is surprisingly a game that I really got into, and I put a lot of hours into it. It's a post office worker simulator, basically, combined with a story based, like narrative focused story based game. Comes with a poster of the map, some tourist attractions you find when going through the game. I really like this game a lot. It's very warm and like has a lot of characters in it that have been written pretty well. I think it's a pretty short game overall. It's like 6 or 7 hours, but definitely worth game checking. Definitely a game worth checking out if you're into like Life is Strange and the sort of American like Pacific Northwest or like Northern East Coast, like small town aesthetic. One of the best horror games on a PS5 is absolutely Madison. This is the Possessed edition. I'm trying to, like, when I open this, not show any like download codes, but it's really difficult. This comes with like Polaroid photos. Like, it's not actually a Polaroid photo, but it's like a fake Polaroid photo, and some cards, collectible cards, and also it comes with this small like. It's not an art book, but it's from the game. I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty gruesome. It's pretty gruesome. One of the best pictures out there. Yeah, this. If you are into horror games, you like stuff like Outlast and these first-person survival horror games. This is absolutely one of the top ones that I've played recently. It's a really well made horror game in many ways. It does have some issues with the same jump scares popping up over and over again, and it does have some pacing issues, but for what it's worth, it's absolutely worth checking out. Another horror game worth checking out is Man-Eater, which is a shark simulator. This is such a dumb game. It's such a dumb game, but it's a really fun game. Next up is the Neo collection, which has the first and the second games, both all on disc, with the DLCs as well. I really like the first Neo game. It's one of the best Souls-like inspired games that has come out. The second one I didn't love as much. It has too much, I think, artificial difficulty to it, and just too many cheap bosses and whatnot. It's also really bloated with a lot of filler content to it, like worthless side missions. I always bounce off games that have a lot of filler side content in them. Oxide Room 104 is a first-person horror game that is not really that great. It has some interesting ideas, like you pick up items and then it affects how you proceed with the game. And if you don't pick up something, you maybe won't even be able to see like location at all. And you have to like learn what to pick up and when to pick it up and what not to pick up, and all the positions of the items change from playthrough to playthrough, so you can't really learn it that way, but you just have to explore and just know what to do. So when you're first playing through the game, it can be quite obnoxious at times, getting insta-killed. But if you start it again and play it again with all the knowledge you have, it starts becoming more and more enjoyable. But it's still kind of jank. But yeah, I don't know. It's a charming mess of a game. One of my favorite PS5 games by far is Power Wash Simulator. It is a fantastic simulator game, like truly fantastic simulator game. One of the best background noise games that you can have. Just put on a podcast, put on an album of music, and just sit back and wash some dirty items clean. It's fantastic. Another Humble Games release. This is Produce, which is an old school FPS game, very much inspired by the old Doom games and Quake and whatnot, all the good stuff. And this is a great modern version of this retro first-person shooter genre. Absolutely worth checking out. And again, look for this logo, Humble Games. They are putting out some of the best indie games on physical media. Everything I've bought from them has been worthwhile so far. Here's a strange one. This is Raiden 3 X Mikado Maniac. So this is the old Raiden 3 game from, I believe, the Xbox 360 era. This wasn't released on PlayStation, at least physically, until now. So this is a brutally difficult shoot-'em-up game. I did finish it, but it wasn't easy. Not my favorite Raiden game. I think the second one is absolutely the best one in the series. But if you're into shoot-'em-up games, Raiden 3 is worth checking out, I think. Now, Stray it became kind of like a meme game for a while after the trailer and all the attention that it got. But this is actually a really fun game. I like Stray a lot. It's a short game, like 5 to 6 hours, and it's an open world. It's not an open world. It's like a hub-based exploration game, kind of like something akin to Beyond Good and Evil, where you have these like hubs that you explore and then move to the next hub and whatever. But Stray is a very, very entertaining game. Also, this physical release comes with extra goodies. I saved this sticker. This is from the factory. What is it called? When it was factory sealed, this is from the plastic, right? And then there are some art cards. I'm not going to go through all of them because it's really difficult to get them back into this band here, but yeah, great physical release for a great game. Great physical release for a game that isn't great. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. I can't remember. Is this? Oh no! This is the better one. Oh yeah, it's the Banana Blitz for the PS4 that I didn't really like. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. This was pretty fun, I guess. Also comes with a manual. Well, it doesn't come with a manual. God damn it! It's just a bunch of warning texts. It looks like a manual. It's a fake manual, but it's better than nothing, right? But Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. It's a fine Monkey Ball game. It's not the best one out there. The best ones are still on the GameCube, but it was fun for a while. The Dark Pictures, The Devil in Me. I have all the ones in this series. This is the only one I have on the PS5. And this is by far the worst one of them. It's not a good horror game at all. All of these are kind of disappointing to me. I haven't really enjoyed any of them, but this one is by far the worst one, with just awful quick time events, awful insta-kill moments, that make no sense. Just awful characters with poor writing. The exploration is almost completely non-existent. I think like in Man of Medan, the first one, like the exploration was pretty fun. This one doesn't really even have that much exploration in it. It's like a straight line that you go through, unfortunately. But if you like horror games, maybe worth checking out. Next, we have The Pathless from Annapurna Interactive and Giant Squid. This is absolutely a must-have on a PS5 if you are into these smaller indie games. This is by the people who made Abzu on the PS4 and in that generation. Also for the Xbox and PC, I think. Yeah, The Pathless is a very different game from them. It has combat in it. This is the first time Giant Squid or the company that they had before. Is it that what is it called? I don't even remember. The people who made Journey on Flower, right? This is the first game that these people have released that has combat in it. It's a very beautiful and serene game. Great soundtrack by Austin Wintory, who also did the Journey soundtrack. Definitely worth picking up. The Quarry is a fun little horror game. It's by the same people who made The Dark Pictures, but this is a full-length game. Like this is not a short one-off episode like The Devil in Me, for example. This is a full-length game. It has some recognizable actors in it, like this guy, whose name I can't remember right now. It also has the mother from Twin Peaks, whose name I can't remember right now. But yeah, it's a pretty fun game. It's a dumb teenage horror story. Like if you're into 80s horror movies, you're probably going to find something to enjoy in The Quarry. It's worth checking out. Next, we have Time on Frog Island. This is a small indie game. Not the greatest. It is quite buggy. It is like a charming, fun little game. You're walking around an island exploring, and there are all these frog people there that you talk with and whatnot. They have some problems, and you do quests for them and so on. But it is quite buggy, or at least it was when I played, which is unfortunate. It is a fun little game, as I said. After Madison, I think the top PS5 horror game that I've played, when it comes to these sort of smaller titles, I'm not counting like Dead Space in it. Like obviously, Dead Space is a lot like higher quality than Tormented Souls or Madison, just because the studio is much larger. But Tormented Souls is one of the top like indie, smaller budget title horror games. It is very, very reminiscent of a game like Haunting Ground or a Clock Tower series, maybe something like that. Maybe not Clock Tower, because in this game you fight back, you have all these weapons. So maybe it's more akin to like an old school Resident Evil game. But it doesn't really feel like a Resident Evil game, I don't think, in many ways. But yeah, Tormented Souls, definitely worth picking up. This is very cheap currently, so get your hands on it if you don't have it. Next, I have some collector's editions. So these were all, Sifu is there as a collector's edition, but all the other collector's editions that I have are coming up next. So Death's Door, I'm not going to open all of these if it's it's going to be difficult to do it here. But yeah, Death's Door Ultimate Edition from Devolver. This is a fantastic, like isometric Zelda-like, old school Zelda-like exploration, action, adventure game. One of the best indie games that I've played in the recent years. It's great combat, great visuals. You're controlling this like little cute crow with a sword who goes around whacking people. It's great. It's fantastic. It has great humor in it as well. It's a very humorous game. Elden Ring. This is the European retail version of the game that comes with some stickers and some art cards. I'm not a huge fan of Elden Ring, unfortunately. I really, really like. There's also a poster. I'm not going to unfold it right now, but I really, really had high hopes for Elden Ring, and it is a fantastic game in many respects. It has some great moments in it. It has some great boss fights and some great world building and whatnot. But in the end, it's just too bloated. There's so much copy and paste in the game. There's so many recycled boss fights and all kinds of elements to it that I don't enjoy at all, unfortunately. But I did play through it. I'm looking forward to the DLC. And yeah, Elden Ring is a game that exists in the world. Fort Solis Limited Edition. This is a buggy mess of a game, unfortunately. It has some big name voice actors in it, like Troy Baker. It's like a sci-fi horror game. Comes with a holographic card with it. And a slipcase. Not a slipcase, this is a slipcover. Slipcase is different. Yeah, a slipcover. It could be great, but it's not. It has some design problems. The walking speed is absolutely awful. It's probably the slowest video game that I've ever played, and it really hampers the experience. And also has some game-breaking bugs in it. I had to restart the game twice before I managed to complete it on a third try. So, not a huge fan of Fort Solis. Mortal Shell. This is the deluxe set. Comes with a steelbook and some postcards and an art book. Mortal Shell is a really enjoyable Souls-like clone. So if you like Dark Souls, Mortal Shell I think is worth checking out. It's not the greatest game out there, but it does have some interesting ideas, like the shell. If you die, you don't immediately die. You lose your shell. You get like slung out of your shell, and you have to run back to it before you are hit again, or you will die. It's a very, very interesting game. One of the more unique Souls-like clones out there, I think. Scorn is a visually stunning horror game. One of the best-looking games that have ever been released. In terms of visual design, it has this H.R. Geiger inspired look, so it looks kind of like the Alien movies and what H.R. Geiger designed for those films. Very violent, very brutal horror game. The gameplay is unfortunately not the greatest, so I'm not a huge fan of the game itself, but it looks great for what it's worth. One of the top games that I've played this year, Talos Principle 2. I absolutely loved the first game. The second game is very different. It's much larger and more. It just has more of everything. More puzzles, more story, more characters. It is an interesting game. I prefer the first one still, but this deluxe edition by Devolver is fantastic. It has a hardbound art book. It's very tight. I can't even get it out, so I'm not going to rip it out now to avoid damage. But it's. I got it. Okay, so I'm going to show it. Like this is Talos Principle 2 art book. It has all this like ancient Greek, ancient Rome inspired visuals in it. Pyramids and stuff. It looks great. The puzzles are fantastic. I think this is easier than the first game. I had a lot of trouble with especially the DLC of the first game. Some of the puzzles in that one were just ridiculously difficult. I did manage to beat Talos Principle 2 in its entirety for the Platinum Trophy without any guides. So if you're looking for a puzzle game with a bit of a challenge but not too much, Talos Principle 2 has a great story, great characters, very interesting, unique look at the puzzle game genre. Right. Another really poor horror game is Yuoni. This is the Sunset Edition. Comes with a slipcase and also some art cards. This could have been a great game, but it's very, very much not so. It's a very simple game of like... It's like Slenderman, where you walk around and you have a set number of things that you have to collect, and then you have to return to your starting position before you get killed. It's kind of like that, and it's just not that great. It's a very low quality, low budget game that has some great visuals. It has a lot of orange and black, which is an interesting color palette, but the gameplay is just repetitive and not very interesting. Then I have a couple of special reserve games, collector's editions. Special reserve games doesn't exist anymore. They stopped doing business, I think, last year, near the end of last year. They are releasing these retail titles now. So Devolver Deluxe is what they are working on now. So they stopped doing these limited releases, like Inscription, which is an absolutely fantastic game. And this artwork is just beautiful. This is the bear card from the game. And these physical releases don't really come with too much stuff in them. There's just there is the physical game, obviously. It has an instruction booklet in it. And it also comes with one of these like mock cards. Like it's a card game. So this is one of the cards that you have in the game. The Shutterbug. This is card number 9. So it comes with one card, and then it has this numbered. Doesn't focus. This is 104 out of 1250. It's the number of the box that I have here. So it doesn't come with a lot of content, but the design is still absolutely fantastic for this physical release. And these outer boxes that special reserve games used to have, like, these are really high quality. I really like these boxes a lot. It's like a soft cardboard with some. It's like I don't know the English word where it's not just flat. If you touch it, you can feel like the pattern. And another one of these from the same set is Trek to Yomi, which is a really great, like a side-scrolling hack and slash game. It's not really a hack and slash game because it's a very slow pace and methodical. It's not fast paced at all, but it has this hack and slash type of feel to it at times when you're making combos and whatnot. So yeah, Trek to Yomi. It's a great game. And then lastly, I have the signature edition release of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Comes in this nice box set. Looks great. And has a lot of content in it. So there's like pins and a keychain. The game obviously does have some keychains in there and like a small guide for the game. So this release has a lot of extra stuff in it. I really appreciate it. It's a numbered card with all the signatures of the development team. This is number 284. And then there's also like this turtle mask and a physical soundtrack CD. Oh yeah, there's also this sewer cover, like this is like a really heavy, like metallic like a mug. What is I can't remember this words in English. God damn it! Like you put a cup of tea on it. Like what is the word? I can't remember. Cup holder or something. It's not a cup holder. Whatever. It's cool anyway. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the word is. It's still cool. All right. So these were all of the games that I have played on a PS5. So that's quite a bit of stuff. I will go through all the games that I haven't played on the PS5 in a much more quick manner in a different video. So tune into that if you are interested in PS5 games and hearing some of my thoughts on them. Thank you and have a good day.